While I certainly enjoy the idea of having a cigar lounge in my area, the reality is I'm only in there for special occasions. I'm either going out with a buddy who wants a cigar, or I'm looking to be surprised like I'm at Blockbuster, which is half the reason why I joined Privada, because I get to experience the beautiful cover art that are these stories behind the cigars and broaden my horizons with a new genre of blends and manufacturers that I typically wouldn't buy from. The other half of why I joined the club was because it was evident to me just how much they valued this culture. Usually I know what I want when shopping for cigars, and because of that, it's much easier for me to search online for the best deal. But what's missing from that is what I like to call the discovery factor. I can't tell you how many times I've gone into a shop looking for one thing and left with a whole bunch of other lines that I've never even heard of. Whether it was a staff recommendation or just talking with another customer, sometimes we forget just how invaluable that information is. Personally, for me, I want to try everything in my cigar journey because it's about the thrill of the chase and smoking perfection that keeps me wanting to explore and not just settle on one box my whole life. And I have those experiences to thank for that. I remember just turning 18 and walking into my first cigar lounge to buy a Romeo y Julieta, and it was from there where I was recommended the next thing to try. You know, if you like this, then you're gonna love that. And that exchange is so important to our culture and our movement when it comes to paving the way for the next generation of cigar heads, which is where I believe the LCA finds a home. The Limited Cigar Association is a subsidiary of Privada Cigar Club. It was founded in 2020 to show some much needed attention to brick and mortars across America during the pandemic. Each month, the Privada Boys are selecting cigars to be featured in the LCA, meaning that the only way to purchase one of these coveted sticks is by visiting your local lounge that's affiliated with the LCA. The goal is that not only are you supporting this community that is cigars, but you're also supporting your own communities at home. And hopefully that discovery factor that I mentioned earlier happens with your interaction, because I know it happened for me when picking up the Privada Limitada. So if you watched my last episode, then you know that Paul Stulac made 2 test blends for the members of Privada Cigar Club to vote on what would become his brand new line. Well, the Privada Limitada came up short to a Nuevo Comienzo by such narrow margins that Stulac decided to make a limited release for the people of Privada. Thus, the Privada Limitada, and the second cigar to be featured in the LCA. The blend contains a Mexican San Andres wrapper with a Habano 2000 binder and my favorite Nicaraguan filler. The number 25 test blend has those old school tobacco notes, but with a slight nutty flavor at the end, leaving a pepper spice on the lips just like its brother. They're definitely 2 different blends, but it's cool to see what Stulac was going for, and I'm giving it a 6 out of 10. With the Privada Limitada, we have a bitter coffee aftertaste with hints of dark fruit like plums or mulberry. It's very earthy, but it mellowed out for a very tasty transition into a baker's chocolate through the back third, settling in at an 8 and a final score of a 7 between the two. If you were to ask me who was on my Mount Rushmore of cigar blenders, Don Pepin would most certainly be one of them. So when I found out our boy Paul Stulac partnered with his cousin Guillermo Pena to make these new blends, using tobacco from Pepin's field, by the way, I thought, what are the odds the cigar gods could put them in one spot? Because it is clear to me that this duo have charted a path that may alter cigar making history. Support the troops, support the brick and mortars, shout out to Boss Cigars, can't wait to smoke these.